Hey gamers, today we're going to be playing more UUF, Undertale Universum fight. And first off, we're going to of course want to fight good old Asgore. And once we defeat Asgore about 80 times-ish, then we'll be able to get to reset 6. And boy, we'll all be hyped for that reset. Because then I can fight some of the hardest foes in this whole game. And by some, I mean there's really one in particular. As you can imagine, it is going to probably take a few attempts. I highly doubt I'm going to manage to defeat one of the hardest foes that in this game on my first try after all. I mean, if I could, I probably would have beaten, UF Sans right away, but I didn't. Asgore, let's get to it. Look at that, so easy. Easier than it is to win as Littletail. So yeah, we're just gonna be doing this for a while. Kinda boring, not gonna lie. But hey, we just need 80,000 more gold. Come on, Asgore. Come on, Asgore. So, what have you all thought of this game? I don't think I've really asked that outright. Have any of you actually went ahead and tried it since I played this, or have you played it prior to me playing this on my channel? Because I think this is a pretty good RPG Roblox game. Like, just as an RPG, it's a great one. And because there's so few Undertale ones, it's one of the best. There are a fair amount of Undertale RPGs. You have characters use attacks, but I feel like this one has some of the most reasonable attacks I've encountered for a Roblox RPG. The resets are incredibly sensible. The fact that in just a couple hours I was on like reset 3, I've played some where you don't get to your first reset until 20 hours in, and the whole time you're just grinding and grinding and grinding. It's nonsense. Asgore perish. Come on, Asgore. Come on, Asgore. Look at how easy this all is. Asgore's gonna lose over and over again. I bet he wish he wasn't dying. But yeah, I've played a fair amount of Roblox RPGs. And one thing, you encounter quite often is that they just have unavoidable attacks. There's this one that's one of the most popular Undertale Roblox games. And some enemies just can randomly one-shot you. It's like, what? How am I supposed to beat this fight if no matter how much health I have, I can just randomly die? I have to win so quickly. Some enemies in that game, because of their seeming unbeatableness, you have to get help just to get through fights. That's one thing I'm enjoying about UUF. I'm able to beat the game on my own. The game does get much easier with help, sure. But I think a lot of these games should actually have it be easier for the player if, you're alone. Why are you punishing me for not bringing in teammates? And of course, the one with the unbeatable or unavoidable attacks that just one-shot. You also get punished for bringing teammates in, so you someone, there's like a penalty kind of thing. And on top of all that, the fights are still ridiculously difficult. I have no problem with difficulty, but all of my major progress in that game came from people beating things for me. Why should I have to beg people just to help me get to a point where I am able to progress? And again, maybe it's possible for someone to get through all that on their own without spending all their gold or something. Then my question is, if that's all possible, then, wait, what's my question? Guys, I don't... But it's great if you can get through all that on your own. But I've just found it being... A lot of those RPGs also have absurdly high amounts of health. I think I remember playing one where I just kept attacking the sand, they kept dodging, and then I don't remember if I got to 100 hits while they were still dodging. It was something insane. Kept hitting them, they just would not die. And the game wouldn't tell me how close I was, which is a pretty big gripe I have with some of this stuff. I want to be able to see how far I am, so I at least know that if I landed 100 hits, I'm not 900 away. Normally you can trust developers, you know, to do things correctly, but it's hard to trust them when you've landed what you believe to be an excessive amount of hits, and you're still continuing. In this game, everything, for the most part, is reasonable. I do have a few gripes, like how... Probably the Asriel fight has my biggest gripes. Most of the game, I would say, is fine. Like, overall, this is still one of the best RPG games on Roblox, despite the fact it doesn't get updated much, or ever now. Please update one day. It doesn't need to be soon, just please return to the game. I think a lot of RPGs Roblox would heavily benefit from having dodgeable attacks. A lot of them are just walk up to enemy, left click, and then one of you wins. I don't want to do that. I want to have attacks to avoid. I can't stand ones where I'm just walking up and hitting them. And sure, I'm doing that with Asgore here, but that's because I'm just so far beyond this fight. I can try to dodge. And when I first beat this fight, you know, my friend I was playing this game through with. By the way, look, the fact the game doesn't punish you for having someone join you for fights is wonderful. I was able to progress through the whole game with someone joining me on every fight, so it was an actual experience we had together. RPG games that punish that, I remember I tried a couple where there's a team function, brought them in, and we both get gold and experience penalties. Oh, so now, rather than having to do 1,500 fights to beat the game, now we need to do 3,000. Like, sure, it makes fights easier, but now we're just wasting time. If you're gonna punish someone for, you know, having a teammate in that way, that's just kind of lame. Like, when I was working with someone in this game, we'd actually have strategy we'd use. One of us would evade while the other attacks, and then while evading, we're gonna regen health. Just stuff like that. I do agree that the fights could be a bit harder when you have teammates. I'm not quite sure how to make it more difficult, you know, without messing with a bunch of things. In this game, difficulty with teammates, the way it increases, it does technically increase a bit, is that every single player in the fight gets attacked. So characters like Asgore here just start shooting a ton of attacks if you have a lot of people in the fight. Pretty scary, to be honest. Alright, let's keep going. So I'm just gonna keep beating Asgore. We are already 10 minutes in. I have almost all the gold I need. I've gotten some enjoyment from some Roblox RPGs. A lot of them are really lazy. That's another thing. I've played some where your data doesn't save properly. In fact, I've played a lot where your data doesn't save properly. You're expected to constantly take screenshots of your data, and then some of them talk about restoring your data, how it's a privilege. They'll only do it every certain amount of months or something. And to basically just tell you to get your data back, except data loss is so rampant due to the fact they have next to no actual data saving. Like the ones that don't save your data are a mess, but the ones that actually do restore data are a little better, but still having data loss. I played one where I was grinding for several hours in that day. Like, I'm telling you, several hours. I spent a good chunk of my day just doing that. And then I was actually intending on taking a screenshot, but then my computer crashed, I believe. And when I opened it up, it randomly did not save my data. And because I wasn't intending on being finished yet, I couldn't take a screenshot. So you have to take screenshots every, like, 10 minutes in these games if you want to not lose your data. And I actually did end up talking to one of the staff of the server, and they didn't seem to see the issue with the fact, give me a moment, that I lost all that data. Their stance on the matter was, okay, sure, I lost several hundred levels, but hey, all you have to do is just spend several more hours getting it all back, and this time, take screenshots. Keep in mind that most of the fights were just copy and paste attacks, and they didn't really have much unique about them, like how these fights are heavily unique. Shoot, I don't want to fight the big boss yet. I need to grind up. So, I was understandably pretty salty. At least I think it was understandable that I was salty, considering I was the one who was upset. But yeah, I have to say, a lot of these Roblox Undertale RPG games do not have a good stance on data loss. I understand you can't necessarily have a perfect system, but the one where you have data loss every hour or something, and saving your data doesn't help because even if it gets restored, you will just lose it again. Stuff like that's just a mess. I really enjoyed the RPG I'm talking about. Unfortunately, I had to cease playing it simply because I would spend like an hour or two trying to progress, lose it. So, Undertale is probably nuts simply because it doesn't have tons of downloads. But continuing on the subject, this music it still feels kind of random. Like, why is someone with 9 resets asking me how to play? Are they on using their data where I can press that? I enjoy this genre of games, Undertale RPGs. But yeah, but anyway, yeah, so this game, this one does have some issues. Mainly the fact that before you're ready for certain fights, enemies are just sponges for damage. Let me tell you, trying to fight enemies with weaker weapons is a nightmare. You saw my earlier videos. Yeah, a lot of new enemies. I can't exactly yo, just solo them. Yeah, just solo them. I have video proof that it is very doable to solo each of them. I don't know why. Like, the fights certainly have some difficulty to them, but soloing them is actually too difficult. So, you can both first try. Apparently, the new player, quote unquote, is going to help. That's good to hear. But anyway, a lot of it's really great. And the best, the funny part is that despite this being grindy, this game, it is nowhere near as grindy as many other Roblox RPGs. Roblox Undertale RPGs. What do I mean by grindy exactly? Well, for the first reset, you have a lot of new content. And heck, or like the first time around, then you reset, and you can finally begin Underfell. Again, plenty of new content. I would appreciate if there was a little more content in Underfell, but this game's in its alpha for a reason. Like, all these complaints I'm going over are due to the game being an alpha. Then you go into your third time around, after beating Underfell and everything, resetting. On Reset 2, all you unlock is, like, Oof Sands and maybe the Gaster fight? Like, let me check. What reset do you have to do for Gaster Phase 1? One reset. But you can't actually do the whole fight until 3 or 4. So, at that point, after you complete Underfell and Reset for the second time, going on to your third reset, there's very little content. Once you reset again, sure, you get a Tail. You get that. But for the most part, it's just kind of bland grinding until you get to the fun content. Now you might say, Flame Cat, what do you mean by fun content? Well, what I'm grinding for right now, level 20, is going to lead to the fun content I'm mentioning. We'll get to that in the next part, I'm sure. Asper, Perish. I don't want to accidentally hit team and get someone in here. Last thing I want is someone to join me. Oh wow. Just a little off. Well, Asgore, goodbye. Okay. So I've spoken quite a bit about Roblox RPGs. I've played through to Reset 6, level 20. Next time, we will engage the most dangerous foe in this game by far. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.